Amy Stevens, the director of the Edmond Historical Society and Museum, and I am here with Anita Schlaht, the former director of the museum, and she's part of a series where we're focusing on local people who have kitchen collections. It's part of the celebration of this exhibit we have up right now called What's Cooking Edmond, that's on display until the end of January. So Anita, tell us a little bit about why you have this beautiful china here.
This china is all hand painted. My mother-in-law, Louise Wadley, started china painting in 1966, and she moved to Edmond in 1977 to be close to her grandchildren from out in the panhandle of Oklahoma. And so then she painted up until about 1997 was her last time to paint. So she painted for over 30 years.
So my understanding is this is kind of a collection over time then.
Yes, yes. This plate was her first plate in 1966. And you can see the difference in how her skills progressed through the years as she was learning more and more.
And one of these was a wedding present, right?
Yes, she painted this picture in this plate for me in 1973 when I married her son. And then as time progressed, she painted more and more and more, and she would give me pieces for Christmas. When we built a new house, being a teacher myself, I had a lot of apple things, and so she painted these mixing bowls for me to go with my new house with my apples.
So do you use these items, or are they just for display?
No, I use them a lot. I don't entertain a lot now since my children are all grown, but through the years I use the vase a lot. I'm looking forward to when my one granddaughter gets a little bit older. She's 3.5. I want to have tea with her and use her great-grandmother's tea set.
That's sweet. Well, you pointed to this vase, and I noticed it has an iris on it, and I know that's kind of symbolic in your life.
Yes, I love irises, and she painted this vase. Some of the pieces are dated, but this one's not. But as you can see, it has yellow irises on one side, and it has purple irises on the other. And so it's a really special piece to me.
And you're involved with the Iris Society?
Yes, the Edmond Iris and Garden Club. I'm treasurer of it right now.
So yes. Kind of show me, I noticed that a lot of these are flowers, but show me the pieces that are maybe different than that and why.
Okay, so yes, she did a lot of flowers, but you can also see she did fruit. She did cherries, she did apples, she did grapes. This one has blackberries on it. This little piece has strawberries. As she would meet, the China Club here in Edmond used to meet at St. John's, and then when the library was built and they had the extra rooms, they met at the library some of the time. And so they would bring teachers in at different times to teach them new things. So then she would try something new. So this piece that has the scene on it, that was something someone came in and taught them something new, and so then they all would try to do a piece, similar to what the teacher had taught them. This piece with the little Dutch boy and girl, same thing. They had someone come in and teach them about doing figures on their china in different ways, and so then she tried that.
I see that there's only one that has an animal on it.
Yes.
It's just kind of a rare thing for her.
Yes, I think again, probably they had someone come in. She loved birds, and she loved feeding the birds in her backyard, and my children grew up helping them fill bird feeders in their backyard, and so I think she just probably decided to try that. There is one of a cat that my daughter has, because my daughter was a cat lover, and so she did try a cat one time, but she didn't like it. She didn't think it turned out very well, but my daughter has it.
So how do you have these displayed in your home?
Well, that's an interesting story too. I have a rolled glass china cabinet that was my great-grandmother's. That was passed to my grandmother and to my mother and to me. And it is in my entry, has been in my entry hall of pretty much every house I've had. But my mother gave it to me back when I was probably in my 20s, soon after we bought our first house and had room for it. Then she gave it to me. And so this is where all of the painted china lives at my house, most of it. The vase is too tall, so it has to go in a different place, but everything else fits in the china cabinet.
Oh, it's beautiful. I have to ask, have you ever broken a piece?
I have. I broke a lid. I have a bowl or another kind of odd shaped piece like this one, and I broke the lid to it one time in one of the moves. I've moved multiple times, and so occasionally something does get broken, you know, in the moving process. But I'm usually pretty careful with it, and I put plants and pillows around my china cabinet when my grandchildren are there because I have a fear of one of them running into that china cabinet and breaking that curved glass. That's many years old.
Oh. Well, thank you for being willing to bring these really precious, and those are heirlooms for your family, I'm sure.
They are.
And thank you for sharing them with us today. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
This was a picture that was in the newspaper. She served as a officer in the China Club off and on different years. So this was from 1981 when they were at the library. And then this is one of the last pictures that I have of her when she was living in assisted living. A couple other memories. When she moved from her home into assisted living, she said to me, "Well, I guess I'm just going to have to throw all this china away."
Oh.
And I was like, "Oh, no, you're not."
Oh.
And so at that time, we went through, I said, let's pick out some pieces for your grandkids for wedding gifts. And if you're here when they get married, you can give them to them. If you're not, then I will give them to them for you. So she was able to give 2 of her grandchildren their wedding gifts, which we picked out a pitcher and a plate for each one of them. So they all have those. And then, as I said, my daughter has the cat one. And she did these 3 necklaces. So right now I have 1 daughter-in-law and 1 daughter. And I may have another daughter-in-law sometime around the bend. But anyway, I have 3 necklaces to pass down to my daughter and daughter-in-laws that she did.
Oh, that is so neat. Now, is there still china painting going on in Edmond today?
I don't know. I meant to look online. I'm sure with COVID they're probably not meeting, but I am assuming that the Edmond China Club still exists.
Okay, I noticed that downtown in Oklahoma City there's now is it a porcelain museum?
There is a museum down on 10th across from the fairgrounds, and she actually has a piece in there. Their China Club used to go down there different times and help them dust around all the china. And I don't remember the circumstances, but there was some kind of something, and they took one of her pieces. So she has a piece down there.
So they would buy what, just a white one, and it was just a canvas for them. They didn't make the china, right?
No, they would buy. I can't think what it was called, but anyway, yes, just clear,
like
just
form.
plain white porcelain is what they would paint on, and as I said, in I think the museum they have the plain china down there, and then when we travel and things like that, she would look for things too that were interesting.
So does painting run in your family?
It does. Her daughter, my sister-in-law, is an artist and lives in Palacios, Texas, and exhibits her paintings down there. And I have one of her paintings. I didn't think to bring it, but I have one of her paintings in my house. And my daughter just got one for her new house from her Aunt Rita. And so yes, so she is very artistic. So it does run in the family. And my middle son Neil is an artist and has a lot of artistic ability, and now his daughter Adeline, who's 3.5, is showing some unusual abilities at 3.5 for drawing. So we're excited to see what Adeline creates.
Oh, that's so great. Well, I guess it makes sense that a museum director would have a collection at home. You think that's kind of something just history people do?
Yeah, because I have more than one collection. I also have a bell collection that I brought to the museum at Christmas time while I was still working. So yes, much to my husband's chagrin, I have multiple collections.
I think that's pretty common.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to share?
I can't think. I think this little picture is one of my favorite pieces, and I guess when I move, it's the one I guard the closest. I usually put it in my car, right beside me, and drive it to the new house because the handle is pretty delicate, and I just am afraid it might get broken. Another kind of interesting story, when my mother-in-law moved out of her house and moved to assisted living, my sister-in-law came up from Texas, and we were going through the house, and she was downsizing, and I said, so you look at everything, you pick what you want, because she doesn't have any children. And I said, you pick what you want, and then after you've got what you want, then I'll pick some things for the kids. And it was interesting because the things that were her favorite were not that special to me. And so I ended up getting everything I wanted, and she got everything she wanted. Because, this bowl is one of my favorites, and she was just like, you can have it. It wasn't her favorite.
So why is, this little picture here, why is that your favorite?
I don't know. I like frills and ruffles, and so that one, and then this one is just, again, really feminine and frilly and just
Victorian-ish, maybe.
Yeah, just my style, and not hers.
Yeah. Well, it's just beautiful, and I'm so glad to get to see it and that we can share it with other people in Edmond. And hopefully people will have a chance to come out and see what we have on display here, telling the story of different cooking tools and methods and restaurants and things that have happened here in Edmond over time. And if you know someone else who has a local cooking collection that they might be willing to share, let us know, and we can look at featuring them here as well. Thank you very much, Anita.
Thank you.